بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So share my screen with you. So you can see the screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So we want to talk about the miraculous nature, they say, of the Quran. Ijaz al-Quran. Ijaz al-Quran. This is our topic that we want to start looking at now. So this word Ijaz, we have to understand. This is the first thing, yeah? Ijaz. What does it mean, Abdullah? Ijaz. Where has it been used in Quran? Which yeah, Ajuz wa Naqim. Yeah, what else? Very good. What else? Think. Anybody think of ayat that mention this word, which is the root is Ain, Jim, and Ajz.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah,
You tell me the ayah. Astaghfirullah. Quran. Ijaz al-Quran is saying I made it. Astaghfirullah. غير معجزين. You heard this, huh? What is that?
وما هم بمعجزين.
وما هم بمعجزين. What else? معجزين.
غير معجزين في الأرض.
What does it mean?
كان لهم.
What does it mean? Abdullah?
They are not.
I should know the meaning of ijiz, huh? غير معجزين في الأرض. وما هم بمعجزين. Let's see if it is in Surah Al-Ankabut. You look somewhere else, I'll look in Ankabut. This is يسبقون.
إنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين.
Where is it?
سورة الأنعام.
An'am. 134.
سورة توبة. سورة يونس. عنكبوت. وما أنتم بمعجزين في الأرض.
Okay, let's look at this, then we'll look at the other. Keep that in mind, those two. We'll look at them as well. إنما توعدون لآت. This is Surah Al-An'am, ayah 134. Indeed, that which Allah has promised to you is going to come for sure. Yeah? وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُعْجِزِينَ. You will not be able to, it says here, not cause failure to Allah, and then in the footnote, you will neither escape nor prevent its occurrence. مُعْجِزِينَ. What's the other one? Which is the other surah you mentioned?
The Surah Tawbah.
Tawbah, which ayah?
فسيحوا في الأرض 4 أشهر واعلموا أنكم غير معجز الله.
That is very good, clear. فسيحوا في الأرض 4 أشهر. So you can travel in the land in Arabia for 4 months. واعلموا, but you should know أنكم غير معجز الله. You will not be able to run away, essentially. It says you cannot cause failure to Allah. Meaning there's no escape for you. Yeah? You are helpless in front of this decree of Allah. You are speechless, helpless, completely. You have no power against this. غير معجز الله. Which other place, Abdullah?
Surah. Again, Surah Tawbah أنكم غير معجز الله. And then Surah Yunus. ويستنبئونك أحق هو قل إي وربي إنه لحق وما أنتم بمعجزين.
Which surah or ayah?
Yunus 52.
معجزين في الأرض كहाँ है?
The Surah Al-Ankabut.
22. Yes, that's what I want. Ankabut 22. This is what I want. Bismillah. Look at this. Allah Ta'ala is saying in this surah, let's take it from ayah 20, yes? So we understand the word, inshallah. قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقِ. Look around you in the earth, travel, and look at how Allah created things from the start, beginning. ثُمَّ اللَّهُ يُنْشِئُ النَّشْأَةَ الْآخِرَةَ. Then Allah will produce the final creation again. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah can do everything. يُعَذِّبُ مَن يَشَاءُ وَيَرْحَمُ مَن يَشَاءُ. He will punish or show mercy to whom He wills. وَإِلَيْهِ تُقْلَبُونَ. And then you have to return to Him. وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُعْجِزِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. You will not cause failure to Allah upon the earth or in the heaven, meaning you cannot run away. Yeah? Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. You have no power, no ability, yeah, to be able to run away. You know, like police chase the thief. The thief runs away sometimes, gets away. غَيْرُ مُعْجِزٍ means you cannot run away. You have no ability to escape. This word ajz, it means a person who has no ability to respond to what you are doing or saying. Absolutely helpless. Hands up. Yeah. So this Ijazul Quran means that the Quran has come and now you have got no evidence, you have nothing to suggest what you are suggesting, to prove what you are suggesting, that this is not from Allah. You are completely dumbfounded, you are completely defeated. Yeah? Because the Quran challenges mankind and jinn that if you think this is from other than Allah, then bring something like it, and you will never. So the challenge of the Quran is the Ijazul Quran, meaning you cannot bring anything like this. You are completely helpless, speechless, and unable completely. This is Ijazul Quran. So this is sometimes referred to as the miraculous nature of the Quran, in that because the Quran is from Allah, you cannot bring anything like it because it is from Allah. It is the speech of Allah. So you are completely unable to meet the challenge. Yeah? Ijazul Quran. There is something beautiful I read today in Urdu, and I mentioned it on the group chat in Urdu, but if you don't understand Urdu, then you wouldn't understand. But I will read it. I will translate it for you. About Ijazul Quran, I was reading, this is a book by Taqi Usmani, Mufti Taqi Usmani. He says regarding the Ijazul Quran in his introduction, he says that the fasaha, which is the eloquence and the balagha, and the rhetoric and eloquence and the superiority of the Quran as a speech, it is a quality which is related to understanding and you actually feeling it. Understanding the Quran and feeling it. He then elaborates. He tells that it is actually not easy and possible to fully express this. He says because you can codify rules and the principles of a language or eloquence. However, you still the speech, he gives a beautiful example. The beauty or the not ugliness, but of speech. قبحك وجه قبيح, I believe in it. The beauty or the inability, you can say, of the speech. And then he gives just like you cannot really do justice when you try to explain the beauty of somebody. When you get married, then you can't say enough to the wife, that you are this, you are that. You say this. I haven't got the words to express, your beauty. And then he says a beautiful flower, beautifully colored, vivid colored flower, and its awesomeness, you can say, you cannot express this in words, because what you are seeing, you can't express it enough. Like you go on a holiday. We went to Cornwall, and what we were seeing, you can't really express it in words. You're feeling, And then he mentions, just like the scent of a very beautiful flower or any scent, you cannot express it fully, or the overwhelming taste of the sweetness of a fruit, you cannot really give it its due. So Allah Ta'ala, He's saying that you can't really, words cannot express the Ijaz al-Quran. You see, Ijaz al-Quran, the words cannot express. It is something, if we go to the originally what he said, that you have to feel yourself. You have to experience it yourself and feel it yourself to appreciate the fact that this Quran is only from Allah. So the English doesn't do really any justice to the Urdu that he's written. I've just expressed this because I felt this. This was very beautifully. He's expressed this. Alhamdulillah. So we should understand that Allah Ta'ala, He has sent messengers and guidance since Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, in order to guide their fitrah, which is itself is guided by Allah. And in order to make it very clear to people, the recipients of this messenger, the audience, Allah has always given them what we call mu'jiza. Mu'jiza. Loosely translated miracles, mu'jiza. But you now understand what ijaz means. It means the thing that the people cannot refuse, and they cannot bring anything like it. So Musa alayhi salam, he by Allah's will, he changed the asa, his staff, into a serpent and back. This is a mu'jiza. Nobody can do it. The magicians did it, but this was sihr. Sihr, optical illusion. It wasn't true, it didn't happen. It seemed that it happened. Yes? And when Musa alayhi salam did it, what happened to the magicians? Mu'jizeen. We can't do this. Can't match this. So they submitted. They became believers. Because they realized this is impossible to do by the humans, and they were the experts, the magicians. So they accepted. This is mu'jiza. This is only can be done by Allah's permission, by His command. It is called kharq of adat. Kharq. You should write it. Kharq. I write it. Kharq. It is called kharq of the ada. Ada is, what is ada? In Urdu we use as well. But in English, in Arabic, ada ya'udu. The habit is called this thing that can be repeated. Kharq means you do something which breaks this pattern. It is unrepeatable. You can't do it. Nobody can do it other than the one who Allah Ta'ala says do it. The miracle we call it. Kharq of adat. sometimes you call it supernatural phenomenon, extraordinary event, unbelievable event, all these different phrases. If you think of any, you should share it to help our understanding. So Musa alayhi salam was given many of these. He was given the Yad-e Bayda. His hand would shine bright light. This is mu'jiza. Nobody can do this. He could do it. What else Musa alayhi salam did?
The sea.
Parting of the sea. The sea, I mean, you have all been to the sea, eh? How strong is the sea? The waves. You are completely at the mercy of the waves. Imagine the waves, they stand up. SubhanAllah. I mean, can't imagine that. You know, if you go shopping, and what is the heaviest thing? Liquid. Liquid is the most heaviest thing, milk. And if you buy Coke or Pepsi or something, heavy, liquid, so heavy. Yeah. But Musa alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala says that you use your asa and you strike this stone, the sea, and Kattawdil Azim. They became two huge like glaciers or mountains. Mu'jiza, can't do it. Yeah? Isa alayhi salam, many mu'jiza. Everything about Isa alayhi salam is mu'jiza. His birth without father, mu'jiza. Speaking when he is a baby, mu'jiza. He would make from clay a bird, blow into it. It would become alive by Allah's leave. He would cure the blind people who were born blind. He could cure the skin disease, leprosy. And he even brought back the dead person to life by Allah's command. The mu'jiza of Musa alayhi salam was the challenge to the people who were the experts, magicians. The challenge of Isa alayhi salam in his time was to the people who were the experts in medicine. Medicine. All of this is medical. Leprosy, eyes, life. People thought they were very clever in medicine. They are غير معجزين or mu'jizi. Completely, we can't do this. This is not, we are the experts, we can't do it. Yeah? And with Rasulullah alayhi salatu, the Arabs, they were the most eloquent in speech and in poetry and in rhetoric and in kalam. And they would call the people who were not, we did this tafsir, I think just on Friday, about the Ajami and Arab, non-Arab. Ajam, the Arabs would call a person who could not articulate himself clearly well enough and be succinct to be Ajam, as if you are deaf or you are dumb, you can't really speak because you're not good enough. Yeah, you're not eloquent enough. So these Arabs, they were the experts of this. They were at the pinnacle of this. And they would have an annual fair. They would challenge each other to the speeches and their poetry. And then the best speech or the best poem would be, then it would be hung outside the Kaaba to venerate and to then, like a placard, to say this is in memory of these people of this tribe. They are so eloquent. So in this context, Allah Ta'ala, He sends a speech. Yes? He sends a speech, Kalamullah, through the messenger who is Ummi. Ummi means he did not learn to read and write as we would learn to read and write. He didn't know how to read and write. He was known not to sit with any of the scholars or any of the shu'ara poets. He in fact couldn't even regurgitate a poem or poetry from anybody, unable to, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he brings a speech so eloquent, so precise, the mi'raj of eloquence, the height of eloquence. And then upon that, on top of that, this is then challenge to these people who are the experts, bring something like this. Imagine how they would have reacted. How would they have reacted if the people who are experts, if they are challenged, yeah, the expertise are challenged, what should they do generally? They will meet the challenge, isn't it? They take the challenge. But there's historically, nobody took the challenge, ever, from that time. Because they knew this, the mu'jizeen, they know this is, you can't do it. This is not from some person, this is not person. This is Allah Ta'ala's kalam. And you find many narrations of the Quraysh leadership, like Abu Jahl and others, who when they would meet Najwa council, secret council, to how we are going to, what propaganda we will use against this messenger when people come for Hajj Umrah. So they would say, we should say he is a poet. They say, Wallahi, this is not poetry. They would say, we will say he is Kahin, soothsayer. They said, Wallahi, he is. They said, he is a magician then. They said, he is not a magician, we know that. And then they had to agree on something. Yeah. So they said, then we will have to say that he is a magician, he's sahir, because his kalam, it mesmerizes people. So you have to not listen. Walghaw fi, don't listen, make noise, so that you would be dominant over his speech. And many of these leaders of Quraysh, they would listen quietly, hiding under the Kaaba, the covering, listening to the Quran. And their heart would say, yes, this is Kalamullah. And even the incident of Surah Shura. This surah, just recently we did a tafsir of this, and before, after Zumar Mu'min, I think Mu'min, there is a sajda. No, I mean recently, our tafsir. I think in Mu'min there is sajda, if I'm not mistaken, where, and that as well, where they all did sajda because they couldn't resist it. You see that? They couldn't resist this kalam and its effect. That's why what the scholar has mentioned is really beautiful in Urdu, that you can't really express this nature of the Quran. You feel it, you understand it. While you're understanding and feeling it, sensing it. So this Quran is a mu'jiza in that it challenges the mankind to bring anything like it. Yeah? So the challenge has been given in many ayats. There is some discussion in the book over whether this is in order or not. Was there an order? Is there an order? Or does it really matter or not? Yeah. So that's the only. You don't need to worry about that too much. But we should be aware of the challenge of the Quran. As mentioned in the Quran, we start with Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 23 and 24, very, very well known about the Ijaz al-Quran, 23 and 24. Allah Ta'ala, He mentions, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. He says, إِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِّثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. if you are in doubt about what we have sent down upon our servant, والسلام, then you should bring a surah like it, one surah. And you can invite and ask those with you other than Allah if you are true to this claim that He is not Rasulullah. And then Allah Ta'ala, He says, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا. He says categorically, if you can't and you won't. Yes? وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا is you will never. This is what لَن تَفْعَلُوا is. Then what you should do, فَاتَّقُوا النَّارِ. You should fear the fire that has been created, and its fuel are people and the stones that you worship. It has been created and prepared for the disbelievers in this messenger and this message, who reject this message. So this is the challenge of the Quran, yeah? The challenge is not just, okay, bring something. Allah Ta'ala is saying, you will never be able to bring it. Who can give that challenge other than Allah? Nobody can give that challenge, yeah? So this one ayah we need to know first and foremost, and then we need to know the next is in 10:18, Surah Yunus, ayah 18, where Allah Ta'ala, He is again telling us about this. 38, sorry. 38, 10:38. Am yaqulun iftarah. If they say, or do they say that he has iftarah, means that he has made it up himself and he's lying. Na'udhu billah, he forged it. Yeah. Qul, say to them, fa'tu bi suratin mithli. Then bring a surah like it. وَدْعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ. And then you can ask anybody to help you as much as they can other than Allah if you are true to this claim, because you know you are lying. Because you know the Arabic, you know the language, yeah? You know the facts. This is the second place, and then the third place is Surah Hud, ayah 13. Am yaqulun iftara. So iftara is mentioned again, yeah? That you have made it up, you have coined it, you have fabricated it, you have lied. Qul, say to them, fa'tu bi ashri suwarin mithli. Then bring 10 surahs like it. Muftarayatin, that have been invented. Meaning Allah Ta'ala is saying, look at this, this is amazing, yeah? This is not to say to them, this is not saying to them that bring 10 surahs from Allah. Allah Ta'ala is saying, you invent 10 surahs. Because you are saying He's invented it, then you invent it. Because you are better in the balagha and the fasaha. You know better. You invent it. And call who you want to help you if you are true. Again, sadiqeen, sadiqeen, sadiqeen. What is the opposite of sadiqeen? Kadhibin. Lying, lying, lying. But Allah Ta'ala is saying not you are lying. He's saying if you are truthful, meaning you are liars. You see the way the words have been used. Positive words, meaning is negative. To hit the person inside, or the problem is inside. And then you find in Surah 17, Al-Isra, 88. This is very amazing. قُلْ إِنْ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ. If, say to them, if the whole of mankind and the jinns were to get together, yeah, united, upon what? أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, to bring something like this Quran, لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِ, they would never be able to bring it. وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا, even if they were to help one another, help, assist. Imagine, you know, this project they have in, where is this project? In France? What was that project that they... No, what are you talking about? In France, this CERN project, CEN? CERN, CERN. Yeah. They created this big underground, yeah, they wanted to what was it called? Recreate the Big Bang project. All the scientists to get together. Yeah. Allah Ta'ala saying, bring every human and every jinn together. I get this people to bring something like that. You can never do that. Allah Ta'ala here made it very clear. They are mu'jizeen, they are helpless. They have given up, hands up. And then in Surah 52 is Surah Tur 33 to 34. Am yaquluna taqawwala? Do they say that he has said it himself? It is his speech, exaggeration. Bal la yu'minun. They don't believe, in fact. فَلْيَأْتُوا بِحَدِيثٍ مِثْلِ. Then they should bring a saying, a speech like it. If in kanu sadiqin, if they are true to their claim. So sadiqin has been mentioned every time, yeah? And then one other thing I want to add to this, which is not in the book, but it's a very, very amazing, subhanAllah. In Surah Qasas. In Surah Qasas, Allah Ta'ala, He has mentioned, Surah 28, Ayat 48 to 50. You have to follow this now, yeah? Oh, let me put the translation on. This is very amazing. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ عِنْدِنَا. When the truth came to them from us, Allah Ta'ala is saying, قَالُوا لَوْلَا أُوتِيَ مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيَ مُوسَى. They are saying, why doesn't Allah send what Allah Ta'ala sent to Musa? Meaning what? The miracles of Musa. Yeah? The miracles of Musa alayhi and Isa were which type of miracles? Physical. Sensory. It's called hissi mu'jiza. Mu'jiza hissiya. Sensory miracles. You can see it. Yes? But it's a very interesting analysis of the scholars. They say just as a human being develops in stages, you have the infant, you have the toddler, you have the child, then you have Ibrahim, then you have a bit older teenager, then you have Abdullah, and you, mashallah, and then you have Adam, and then you are older, and then you become me, and then you become older, and etc., etc. Just like this, the human race is also going through this type of balugha, not balugha. That the human race as a society, social, I don't want to use the word evolution because it's very problematic. Yeah? This is the social development of a human race. At the time of Musa and Isa, the human race as a group were not intellectually and rationally that sharp. They were like the child or maybe a bit older who believes whatever he or she sees. Doesn't have to rationally understand it or calculate it, but sees it, believes it. Yeah? So this is why Musa was given these miracles for those people, because the society had not yet progressed that much. But with the coming of Rasulullah, it is just at the right time when now humanity has reached a mental threshold. Yes? When now they will not substantially, or what's the word I'm looking for? They will not really, they will not progress, don't make much more great progress. What is the word for that?
Progress.
Yeah, meaning that there won't be a big jump now. That's what I mean. There won't be a big difference. So that's why Allah Ta'ala now sent the miracle, which is the miracle of kalam, speech and thinking, and it is a written miracle, the intellectual miracle, rational miracle. You see that? So Allah Ta'ala is saying that they are asking for the miracle, give us the miracle of Musa, yeah? Show us the معجزة حسية, sensory miracle. أَوَلَمْ يَكْفُرُوا بِمَا أُوتِيَ مُوسَى مِنْ قَبْلَ. Allah Ta'ala is saying, didn't these type of people, because Allah categorizing all the kuffar as one from the beginning to the end of humanity, didn't these people disbelieve in those miracles as well? They did. Yeah. قَالُوا سِحْرَانِ تَظَاهَرًا. They said these two are nothing but magicians who are trying to now dominate us. وَقَالُوا إِنَّا بِكُلٍّ كَافِرُونَ. And they said, we disbelieve in all of these. And look at this. This is the amazing subhanallah ayat. These two ayat, they blew my mind when I first really understood them. قُلْ فَأْتُوا بِكِتَابٍ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ هُوَ أَهْدَى مِنْهُمَا. The challenge is, bring a scripture from Allah which is more guiding, ahda, minhuma, than these two. Which two? What two? Think. Torah and Quran. Very good. Attabi'hu in kuntum sadiqeen. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is being told by Allah, tell them, if you can bring a book from Allah which is more guiding than the Quran and the Torah, then I will follow it. I will follow it. See the challenge? Yeah? And look at this. Allah Ta'ala, He tells us, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكَ. And if they cannot respond to you, فَعْلَمْ. Then you should know. أَنَّمَا يَتَّبِعُونَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. They do not follow anything except their desires. Yes? وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنِ اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ بِغَيْرِ هُدًى مِّنَ اللَّهِ. And who is more misguided than the person who follows his desires in the absence and without Allah Ta'ala's guidance? Meaning, the most misguided person is the one who follows his desire absolutely in isolation of Allah's guidance. And this is today's misguidance. Follow your desire, do what you want, do what you think. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin. Allah does not guide these people who are wronging themselves. So you see this, the challenge here is amazing, yeah. In this ayah, amazing. And even the cause of their refusal has been highlighted, that they want to follow their wishes and their desires. Okay, let's move on then. We have to go a few minutes, inshallah. In the book, then we have I haven't covered there are some conditions. There are some conditions for the mu'jiza. They mentioned 6 conditions. It looks like 5 really, but anyway. They say the conditions for an act to be a mu'jiza. Yeah? Meaning, how can we say this is mu'jiza or not? Yeah? Number 1, it has to occur with the command of Allah. It should be bi amrillah. Bi amrillah. I'll write it here in the Arabic easier. I found that the writing in Arabic, it took 2 words. In English, it took full sentence. Yeah. So bi amrillah. This is one, bi amrillah, meaning the act is by the permission and the command of Allah. That's now one condition for an act to be a mu'jiza. The other is that it is kharq of ada. Kharq of ada. We have already mentioned that it is a extraordinary event out of the ordinary, and it cannot be recreated by anyone. So it is the third is you can not repeat it, yeah? Not repeat it by anybody other than the messenger. Not repeatable, if you like. Fourth is it must be performed by the claimant, meaning must be performed by the actual prophet who claims to be the prophet, a messenger, by the Nabi. It must match the claim of the Nabi. So if the Nabi claims that I will change the staff into a snake, then that's exactly what should happen. Yeah. And the sixth one, which is really the other side of this coin, it says it shouldn't refute what he has claimed, so which is the same thing, really. So these are the conditions that the scholars have mentioned, that how do we know, how do we say this is mu'jiza or not? These are the conditions. And then they give the difference between mu'jiza and karama. Karamat, singular, karama, karamat, plural. Karamat is something extraordinary, yes, which happens to a non-prophet. Non-prophet. Yeah. So they mentioned the hadith in Sahih Bukhari. It says 546. Let's see if we can Google this or not. Bukhari 546. Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari 546. Let's see if it comes up. Let's see if this is long hadith, eh? Let me just see. Okay, so no, this is not there. Unless there is more to it, I don't know. Khair, anyway, in the book it mentions that the two Sahabi, two Ashab of Rasulullah, they were walking back from the Salah, and then they both saw a light. And then when they departed, the light also departed, yani one light divided into two. Karama. Yeah. And then the book mentions that the karama is actually an extension of mu'jiza, because the mu'jiza is given to the messenger. Karama is given to the people who believe in the messenger. You see that? It's an extension of mu'jiza. But the karama is not up to the person himself. Eh? It's not, the person himself can't do the karama. And then it further elaborates that the jinns and the disbelievers, if they do something, this is sihr. This is a magic optical illusion. It is not karama or mu'jiza. It didn't actually happen. It seems like the Dajjal, he would do these types of acts that would seem, but it would not be actual. Allah would give him the ability to do many things. Yeah? So it talks about this in some detail in the book. I think that's okay for today. So from next lesson we will look at the we have looked up to the challenge we mentioned. You read about the order of the verses. It just says that if there is order or not. We will then start to look at the types of ijaz, inshallah. The types of ijaz, what are they? And then we go into the detail of each one, inshallah, to know the ijaz al-Quran, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا.